Yeah, Michael, I wasn't gonna get into this so much, but since you brought it up, I will. Because I'm appreciative of everything Jake Paul's done for the sport, just like I'm appreciative of everything Turkey Al-Sheikh has done and everything Dana White did by making the UFC what it is and raising all combat sports ships. But the reality is this: the novice level of Jake's combat sports, boxing anyway, is seen in a number of ways. You can see it right behind me right there with his hands down, right? Like, boxing's one of those sports where you got to have your hands up. There's some rare guys that do some really weird things and different stances, but right there, that's I'm tired. And because I'm tired, my arms come down. And does it happen to bigger guys like Jake Paul more often? Yeah, because they got more muscles in their arm. And Jake Paul's a muscle-bound guy, right? It's only practice and routine that forces you to keep those hands up. Number two, I remember the first time I saw Jake Paul fight was against Tommy Fury. Now, Jake Paul wasn't looking where he was throwing his punches, right? He would be blind, meaning looking away as he threw his punches. That is the sign of a novice fighter, right? Like, you have to look at everything. You got to look at punches coming at you, and you got to look where you're punching. No matter what, it's much better. Otherwise, what you're doing is essentially the ostrich, right? Like, ooh, I'll look away. Hopefully he doesn't hit me. Or, ooh, I'll look away. Hopefully this lands. That ostrich defense stuff does not work in boxing. And it is one of the number one signs that a person is a novice. Now, for last night with Anthony Joshua, what were the signs? Well, the number one sign was Jake would lunge. When you're not working behind what is mainly a jab, right, to land your stuff, it means you're running on a hope and a prayer. And indeed, Jake was. Look, he was hopelessly outmatched, right? Like, not only physically, but skill-wise and everything else. So throw hope to the wind. I'll throw this haymaker and maybe it'll land. And of course, he landed a couple. And you can always land a couple doing stuff like that. But anybody who's skilled at the sport of boxing works their way into a certain position to do the rest of the things they do. Normally, that's working behind a jab. Sometimes people work behind their defense. But in some way or the other, you got to close the distance to make the power shots land, to get your opponent out of there, if that's even your fighting style. So Jake Paul does these things. Keeps his hands down. He doesn't look where he punches. He doesn't look when someone's punching at him. And he also lunges in rather than working behind a jab. All these things are signs of a novice. Now, look, Jake's only been boxing, 5 years, started in 2020. He's done great for that short amount of time. But the reality is, being against an Olympic champion and a world champion like Anthony Joshua, forget about it. And there it is. Like and follow for more on the Fight Game.